So Isaiah Emmanuel Mota, born in Freetown, British Honduras in 1860s, was the first was a descendant of the Igbo people and one of the first successful person after the emancipation of slavery. He amassed his fortune in the coconut and banana industry, earning the nickname the Coconut King. He achieved fame for his entrepreneurial success as he was awarded and knighted Commander of Distinguished Service Order of the Ethiopia, and a statue of him stands on Albert Street in Belize City. The next monumental soul and important person is Clifford Letson, 1897 to 1774. He is a known Unionist and the leader of a major riot in Belize City in 1919, serving the Mesopotamia area. That was based on the fact that they were struggling and pushing for rights to be able to partake in the advancements of the community. So most people didn't have rights based on the fact that they didn't have land. So they were pushing for ownership to have rights to gain the opportunity and the privilege to own property and vote, because conditions was pretty horrible as well. Now we have Light Richardson, leader of the early People's United Party. Then there's Lionel Francis, a Trinidadian physician who became a politician in British Honduras in the 1940s. He led pro-British political party. New little buds coming out there. Just hiking on the outskirts of twin town of San Ignacio. This one is more about capturing the sounds of nature and a few information. So Robert and his brother Goulburn Ferguson, there are two brothers, famous for dominating the cross-country cycling race in the 1930s, from the 1930s to the 1940s, bringing prominence to their family, which was a working class family. Somewhere around here there's a creek. I think they installed a culvert, and this creek empties out into the Mopan River, but it joins several other creeks before it heads to there. And it's a seasonal creek now. It seems like it was all year round creek, but you know, as development and time change and man moving things, the landscape tend to change just a smidge. So at one point, um, a great nation of British Honduras, they had to rethink and reprogram their brains and minds. I mean, with every society, you have to factor in that at some point you have to basically look at the environment, look at the landscape, look at your natural resources, and figure out how you're going to diversify your economy and improve so that you can maintain your economic growth and allow the place to develop and grow. Because the economy had a major decline during the 1830s right up to the 1850s. This was after the logging industry um, was not as vital and critical to the economy because of the industrial age. Um, England started to mass produce stuff in factories, writing, printing, manufacturing starting to take flight and take root and take off. The United States as well started to become more prominent and dominant based on industry moving from consuming resources to manufacturing items. So during that time, there was a major shift where they started to look at agriculture and invest in agriculture in British Honduras to be able to compete and stay afloat during the times because the global economy was shifting and changing. So just some history, the colonial administrator shift to agriculture. So the colonial administrator shift from logging to agriculture, and they made agriculture, developing agriculture, a critical and important aspect and phase for the advancement of the economy and the growth of the community. Morning. And this area where that took place was in Corozal. I wonder if the microphone can pick that up. There's quite a bit of toucans up in the air over here, but they're not close enough, they're far. So that area was known for having a large population, and the population was primarily British and mestizo citizens that became mass entrepreneurial experience and experts, especially the mestizos, for the fact that they know the land from the history of some of them have their ancestry chain and connect to Maya in the area, so they know how to utilize the land and knew what to do to get it to produce and yield abundance. So they established large sugar plantations. So to just give a brief history and facts and information about who the Creole people are. The Creole people are of British Honduras and they are of mixed race. Their descendants are enslaved or indentured servants from West and Central Africa, English, Scot, Germans, possibly Dutch, and other Europeans that were able and capable of making the transatlantic crossing the transatlantic trade. And most of these guys were known as either pirates, baymen, or loggers. They intermarried each other, and these are from the other aspect of who they are. The European mixed with Miscato, Jamaicans, Mestizo, Garifuna, Maya, Chinese, and Indian. Indians are from India, and if you want to factor in, you have to look at, let me retrace and backtrack, the Mosquito. I really don't know the correct pronunciation of that. Mosquito. Um, they were native Indians or native citizens of the Caribbean that they were first enslaved once the Europeans touched down in the New World in the Western Hemisphere. So let me backtrack. You have the Mosquito or Moscato, um, and you have the Indians from India. That's two different things. So the Mosquito are citizens who were here pre European advancement, and they intermixed with each other. So you got the Mosquito or Moscato, which are Jamaicans, Mestizos, Garifuna, Maya, Chinese, and Indians who all end up mixing with the Europeans to create Creole. And the backbone and foundation and structure of Creole is based on, I would assume and say that is based on Africans mixing with others and then eventually mixing with each other. So these are the different people who made up the Creole. So once slavery ended in 1838, the Creole population exploded with Africans and Europeans mixing and marrying each other. Just some fun fact and friendly information. You have the Jamaicans, Nicaraguan, Hondurans, Mestizo, Maya, and Chinese and Indians, and Dominican, and like again the Mosquito or Moscato. I don't really know the good pronunciation of that. They were moving and gravitating towards union within the Europeans after the end of slavery. So as I have stated before, that the Mosquito or Moscato are indigenous people from the Atlantic coast of Nicaragua, Honduras, and the possibly Caribbean islands. Their language is related to the Chibahan. Don't know how to pronounce that. And it stated that the language is probably strongly influenced by Germanic and English and Dutch influence, based on the fact that eventually those people moved in and start dominating and taking over certain parts of the Caribbean and Honduras, Nicaragua, British Honduras. So I guess I have to backpedal and rebuttal, because I was saying based on African, but then it seems like it's a combination of the European and African that gave birth to the Creole language. Just a little fun fact and funny information. I was chatting with someone and they stated that cannabis, sativa, marijuana is something horrible. Well, here's something interesting and amazing about that. You have the hemp. The hemp is the male plant, and the hemp seed, you can extract oil from the hemp seed, and it extract or reproduce, or you can extract oil from it, and that oil can be used in conventional diesel engine. You can also use the hemp plant to make fabric and paper. And then marijuana, as in cannabis, sativa, the actual plant that once you ignite it and smoke and inhale it, gets you high. Well, there are three different types of oil that you can get from that. Not trying to, and I didn't write it down because I didn't want to be publicly promoting it or claiming that it's something healthy or good. I mean, that is based on each individual. Just bringing up these fun facts because when you talk about something, you have to do your research, and you not just research, you have to know what you're talking about. Um, it just goes to show that there's a negative connotation about certain things. But if you just take a moment and take a back and just calm yourself down, you can basically look at that. For example, the marijuana plant, that with that conversation stating that it was something horrible or bad, but then there's so much that you can get from the plant itself. It's like a plant of life because you can build an economy off of it. Then go back to fun and interesting fact. When someone has dreadlocks, when someone has dreadlocks, it's a sign of submission. Now, not everyone does it because some people do it for fashion, some people just do it for looks, but the actual essence and history of it is being submissive to the Creator, to a higher purpose, to the universe, to life. And it can be traced, and it came out of Kemet, Namibia, Kenya, which is on the African continent, and it also comes from India, which is the yogis and the sage. And I would possibly, actually, I won't even go down that path. One thing I can say about it is that it still exists in India to this day, where some people have their Indian people have their head matted up, and like I said, it's mainly for spirituality and spiritual advancement and enlightenment of the individual, connecting to the inner God and the inner Jah, connecting and acknowledging your inner Jah, your inner um, power, the spiritual uh, frequency of who you are, linking and connecting with the universe, Mother Earth, and the Creator. Uh, Also, in the Hindu or Indian language, I wouldn't say Hindu, but because I am not too familiar with that culture, they call it matted hair, and the word that they use for it is jata. And the jata is depicted in the Hindu text, and it's pretty common in India today. We do work for like, shares, and comments. Subscribe to the channel as well, and thanks to all those who have been watching, all the subscribers who have been watching non-stop for the last 5+ years. Thank you, greatly appreciate it. You guys made this possible. To all the newcomers who watch and just now tuning in, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys continue to tune in. And then to all those who have been tuning in and continue to watch for the last 5+ years, thank you for continue coming back to the channel. You guys are making it possible. Every different aspect and phase that you guys partake in, you help the channel grow. Thank you, and I hope I am improving and getting better at what I'm doing as well. Thank you, because I greatly enjoy it and I love it, and I'm learning a lot as well. They say sometimes you have your second win. Well, this is mine. So thanks for your comments, shares, hypes, and likes as well, and reposting it as well. Greatly appreciate it.